Hey everybody, I'm Angel Cosillo. Thank you for tuning in to another Cosillo blade review, and today we're going to be taking a look at a very unique design in the knife world. That knife is the Tops Tom Brown Tracker No.4, also known as the Mini Tracker. So let's take a look there, nice close-up. Now this knife I purchased back in May of 2020, so it's closing in on a year now that I've owned it, and I've used it and carried it for EDC tasks mainly. A little bit of wood carving here and there, but I really want to show you guys what it can do. And this is a very interesting, capable little knife. Now before we jump into its specs and information, here it is compared to the Tracker No.1, which I also have had since April of 2020. And this one, you can see it's gotten some use. So anyway, there they are compared to each other. The little ones, literally the size of the blade. But another video will be done on the full size. But for now, we're going to be reviewing this little one. So some of the specs of this little knife is the blade length is 3.5 inches long, and the handle length is a little over 5 inches. The stock thickness is 1/13 of an inch thick, kind of your average EDC folder in a way. Here's a PM2 right next to it. You can see the thickness there, pretty similar. But for a small little EDC knife, especially a little fixed blade, that's a nice thickness. The handles are canvas micarta. The coating is a Cerakote or a traction coating. I think it's more of a Cerakote that Tops does. Now they don't do this coating anymore. They're experimenting with different finishes for this tan. They're desert themed knives. I like this one. This stuff holds up so-so. It's like, you know, you can see here, when you really start using these knives that are, you know, have coatings on them, the coatings come off. But anyway, the material, blade steel, is 1095 differential heat treated, Tops heat treat. They do a great one. And yeah, has those really nice little white liners. But this little knife is a very interesting little knife. Very comfortable. You can see my hand. I don't know if I have large hands or medium hands, but this rests right on my pinky. So it's comfortable. It's very comfortable. It fits the hand nice. If you have tiny hands, you might be able to fit there. If you got bigger hands, it might be a little uncomfortable, you know. But I doubt anyone has a hand big enough where, you know, you can only get 2 fingers on it. But yeah, it's a solid grip, very comfortable. Let's go into the sheath a bit. The sheath is the run-of-the-mill Tops Kydex. Now I did put this little knot there for looks, and then these do not come on it. This knife comes with one of Tops metal belt clips. I'm not really a huge fan. They work great. They work fine, but I like these loops. And I kind of wear it in scout carry, right, cross draw in a way. So I just draw it like that, nice and out of the way. This knife can be a neck knife. I did try wearing it as a neck knife for a little while. Not a fan. I'm not a neck knife guy. So I configured it to wear on the belt, and I do like these, and they look good. Just tan on tan on tan. But anyway, this little knife is holds a pretty decent edge. It's not razor sharp. It came razor sharp, but I've used it, so you know, doesn't have that super sharp edge, but the edge is, you know, still very sharp and easy to maintain. But the price for this little guy was I got it for $114 off of Blade HQ. I'm not sponsored by them or affiliated with them. I'm just, you know, a customer who I've been buying from them for, it's going to be 8 years now, and I've never had an issue. So anyway, yeah, this is a really neat little guy. All right, so what I have here is some wood. These are just small, you know, not too big. With this little knife, you're not going to be batoning something like this, or, you know, something huge. You got to do smart, reasonable batoning. But these are all batoned with another Tops knife I had, and we're going to go ahead and finish them off with this little tracker. So we'll start off right there in the little fine little edge there. I can see. no issue. And this little knife, a knife like this is, you know, as much batoning as you want to do with it. And this little knife fits, I think, the niche of a little companion knife, you know, or a neck knife. And something that you can use like this for a little fire, for helping you with fires. See, it just does a nice little job making this kindling even smaller. See, the baton is not that big, so the power behind it isn't too great. But as you can see, it's splitting this stuff just fine. Really has no issue. And one thing about trackers is they will eat up your baton no matter what with these saw it has. So a lot of people like to hit right there in that little groove. And it's just, you know, honestly, to each his own. Not really that big of a deal. If you're trying to make your baton last, this one doesn't want to go through, then I can see where, you know, preserving it the best you can is important, you know, but I'm not doing that right now. It's just simple little batoning so you can get some nice thin pieces off. And these are crucial to fire starting. You need the small stuff to ignite bigger stuff. And a big knife like the Tracker No.1 could do this, but this little guy, just for the small stuff, it just fits perfectly and works perfectly. It's comfortable, it's easy to wield, and it's sturdy. It doesn't feel like anything's going to happen to this. You're not going to break it unless you tried putting it through this big little stump I'm batoning on top of. But other than that, it's going to be fine, as you can see. A little more. One thing I did find is the handle's so cramped that I keep hitting my thumb because it's so little. I keep hitting it on the wood here, and it kind of, so you have to be careful with that. You don't have a huge, much room, you know, so be mindful of that. But as you can see, it's doing great. It's really no issue for this little guy to baton. Let's do one more piece here. See, it has a bigger end here, almost the whole size of the blade, so we'll give this a shot. And see, this little knife doesn't really have the power or really weight to dig in, much like a bigger knife. Well, it takes a little more to do it, but you can if you need to. Of course, you should use the right tool for the job, because this little one, you know, all it's going to do is I find it will hurt your hand, the shock from the little handle, you know, so it's just right tool for the right job. But if this is all you got, you know, it can definitely do the job. So that's it. Let's get a close-up of what it looks like after that batoning. Focus there. Yeah, you can see that. Took off some of that coating, but not too bad. So let's get on to some carving tasks. What we're going to be doing here is doing some kind of finer carving with this. The way the tracker is designed is this would be your hatchet style part of the knife. Tom Brown designed this as a one knife tool, you know, jack of all trades, master of none type deal. And so you have you know, that saw on the back, meant for notching really, this hatchet portion and or skinning portion if you need, especially for this size knife, and then your carving and regular straight cutting is what you're going to be doing there. So anyway, Tracker's famous for making curls with this little hook here, this little hook part of the blade. So we have two bits of wood. One is the little mesquite I just batoned. So let's go ahead and use this, show you what kind of curls it can get. And I did make a video, uploaded a video right before this one on my channel. You can go back to that, where I showed how I made a tinder using the char cloth method with these little mesquite curls. But in this capacity, this little knife is very comfortable. The grip I have, like that, it just fits very nice. A lot of control. If your mesquite doesn't chip like that. You can get some little curls like this, no problem, as you can see. Maybe even up here. A little trickier, but can be done, see, on all edges. But where the Tracker excels is with this little groove. That's where it really, you really see the work done. Just like that. You can see just very fine tinder there. See if we can get a shot of that. And this stuff, when you get a nice pile of it, you know, this could be excellent for a fire, for tinder, especially if the wood is wet. Like the wood here now is kind of damp. We got some colder, wet weather, and if you get enough of those shavings and some body heat, they'll dry up enough to start a fire. What I have here is this, I don't really know the breed or the species, excuse me, but it's just this type of wood out here, real hard, but anyway, same process, just fine. Look at that. Nice, excellent curls. Just like that. Start a fire with that. Do some more push cut. Straight down. See, it does these curls really nice. Let's use the belly there. Not as easy. But another way this knife was designed is Tom Brown designed it as a draw knife. You could use it as a draw knife. It's a lot easier with the No.1, but as you can see, if you needed to, or even debark that there. Kind of awkward with this little knife, but if you didn't want to use a normal carving method, it can do it just fine. More of those curls. Look at that. So, for carving, this little knife does wonderful. This does a great job. Let's go ahead and take a look at this notching and what it can do. What I have here is just a small little diameter of wood here, and we're going to go ahead and notch. Now, this was not designed as a saw to saw through stuff. It's for notching, for tent stakes, anything you need a notch for, really. But anyway, use it here. It's pretty simple. And these teeth Tops does are really good. And for notching, it really does a nice job. A little awkward, a little weird, but... And with these, I personally find no purpose for notching, honestly. I don't really find myself needing to use, you know, notches. And if I need to, for me it's easier just to carve it, you know, for my own needs. But I guess if I needed a very straight groove like this little knife would be perfect for that. It relatively doesn't take too much effort. But like I said, for my personal needs, what I find myself doing in the outdoors, I really don't find myself notching that often. But this most definitely, as you can see, does the job. As you can see, there's a nice close-up of this. There it is. It's a notch there, all the way around. And you could tie some paracord to that, or mark, or whatever you need could be done with that. The little knife does great. They look just fine, as you can see. But yeah, it's just no issue at all. So yeah, this little knife, I'm really impressed with it. You just do light stuff with this. I don't really see it being a knife that you're going to be abusing like crazy. You know, it's a companion knife, just all around, you know, simple tasks. So let's go ahead and go back to the table, and I'll give you my final thoughts on this little guy. Thoughts on this little knife is that it's a great little knife. It's a great EDC. Definitely a really nice collector's piece, very unique. Functionality, very functional. This is quite the capable tool. This is in that, you know, SE Izula 2, you know, K-Bar Becker Izula SE collab. You know, these small little mid-sized neck knives, a Bradford, you know, that size knife, around, you know, 3.5-inch blade, 3-inch blade, fixed blades. This is a contender, definitely, in that field. And if you're a tracker, you know, a fan of this design, this guy's definitely, you know, a great option. I EDC'd it for a while, for months. It's a great EDC, doesn't weigh anything, it's functional. I think it's a great little fixed blade. If you're thinking about getting the Tops Knives Tracker number 4, I definitely say go ahead and do it. It's just, you know, I really have nothing negative to say about it. You know, the only thing it didn't do too great on was the batoning. You know, it was so-so with batoning, but, you know, this is a small knife. It's a little knife. You're going to be getting a lot better batoning with this guy, a huge tank of a knife, than you would with this small knife, and that's just common sense. So you can't knock this knife for that. It wasn't designed for that. But anyway, guys, I really got nothing else to say on this little guy. It's, you know, more than just a novelty item. It's an actual tool, and a very capable tool. Look forward to this review coming up, the full size tracker. This one's going to be fun. So anyway, guys, thank you for checking this out, you know, and yeah, I appreciate it. Have a great day, night, weekend, week, whatever is going on with you. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.